What is up, everybody? It is 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, which means, at least where I am, which means it is time for the Monster Maverick Show. Today is December 6th, 2022, and as usual, stuff has happened in the last week. Luthien, how are you? Let me do my little promo stuff. Let me drop some links in the Discord and on Twitter. I'm actually putting it in the Maverick's house as well as the tavern today because the topics that we're going to talk about today is going to be is going to be relevant to lots of minnows. So I thought I would make a special effort to invite them all and put on the Twitter and I tag that Splinterlands 100 tweets today. And yes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Neil's house is somewhere. That is correct. All right. We got Luthien. We got J.R. Smith. We got Clay. We got Coin Regent. We got Kevin. Yay, minnows. Yes. Yay for the minnows. A lot of the things I've done over the years with Splinterlands has been for the minnows. And, the people, I think, often think of me as a some old whale, which I am. Splinterlands OG and large whale and all that kind of stuff. So all that's true, but I do recognize that even though I have a significant chunk of assets in the ecosystem, the whole thing only works if we are all in it together. So back in the day, I invented what was later to become Herons, which is kind of the original scholarship type account system, and the whole goal with that was to bring in players without having to invest tons of money, because obviously that's a large hurdle for a lot of people. And I would not say that was terribly successful, but that was the thought. Kevin saying, as a minnow, thanks for the CLP, good sir. Yes, we will talk about CLP quite a bit. Salty bears in the house. Herons. So confusing seeing those accounts as a noob. Yeah, so here's some Splinterlands history for you. So there used to be a player who was very active, TC Polymath, and he was, had decent coding skills and all that kind of stuff. And I sent him a message one day. I said, hey, can you make a system where I can delegate cards to an account, and then you give the posting key to somebody else, and then they play, and then you split the rewards? And he's like, yeah, I could do that. And originally I thought I was going to have to pay him to do this, but then he turned around and turned it into what later became the Heron service. And I know Yaba and Agrod were not happy with the naming convention. Everything was something Herons. He was really into animals. And later ended up having some kind of argument with Yaba and Agrod about something. I don't even know the details, but he left a couple years ago. But it ended up being the same as what later became Scholars in Axie Infinity and other Web3 type games. But yeah, that was the initial idea to allow people to do a free to play kind of model and do the play to earn without having to put up front all the capital, because capital is already deployed by people who had been in the system. Let's see what else we got going on. Actually, before we get any further, let's go ahead and play the theme song. And somebody was pinging me about updating music, but for now, I'm sticking with the original. That's right. Back in my day, this was the theme song. And so, yeah, Dragon says, no need to update this classic. What are they talking about? It is a classic. I love it. So I don't think I'll be changing that. But, apparently there was some ear candy on yesterday's town hall. I didn't listen to all of yesterday's town hall. I only got bits and pieces of it. But You should check out Sarah's latest albums. She makes good music and can sing good. Aggrod's here. Aggrod, one of our illustrious founders. And he says never change, so, obviously I can't. Yeah, so if you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Neil, I'm your host. This is the Monster Maverick Show. I'm, like I said, OG Splinterlands Day 1 user. Big Whale, 50% of the team behind XKS, which will be relevant today, 50% of the team behind Venara Syndicate. Venara Syndicate is our investing syndicate for accredited investors in the U.S. who want to deploy capital into the Splinterlands ecoverse. And let's talk about the ecosystem for a second here. So let's go over to, where did I put? I have so many tabs open. I have to shrink it because of the Discord window. So a lot of you know that I've had spreadsheets that I've shown you in the past. I finally decided to put at least one of them on Google Sheets. So excuse me. So what I did was I took the ecosystem sheet and put it here, and anybody can view it. Anybody who has the link, you can go ahead and see that. And there's kind of four basic things. So one is the raw data. This is where I just go through and collect, counts and prices of things. So like alphas, betas, all the pack tokens, the prices of totems, DEC, SPS, vouchers, all the stuff, right? So that goes there. Then it goes into the ecosystem info. Info is, data is just raw data. Information is, things that have been acted upon. And so I calculate the market caps of all those different things. And then we have the value chart right here. And there's so many categories that Google ran out of colors. So the top four are just black. I don't actually know how to change that, but I don't think it's particularly relevant. What we can see here, though, is that, we're still in a downtrend, which is not ideal. But it is a bear market. We can go over to the actual charts. We can see SPS is down, a good chunk. Over the last week, Bitcoin has been just kind of floating right here at this $17,000 line. So, we've had relative weakness in Splinterlands compared to the overall crypto macro, which is not ideal. But, it is what it is at times. So, so I was putting all this together. Oh, and I also put together an SPS supply chart because, a lot of people are wondering, well, how much SPS is being created every week? And so here's a chart. You can see it's been fairly smooth since September. And let's see, last week was 916 million, and today was 922 million. So about 5.5 million SPS created in the past week. But the value of that SPS is down quite a bit. So if we go over to the SPS or the ecosystem info, overall ecosystem is down 8.6 million compared to last week, which is a lot. That's 5% right there. So that happened in a few major categories. So one was SPS. SPS is down 2.7 million. DEC made up part of that. DEC rose 20%, or $850,000 in market cap, but obviously not enough to offset the SPS. So you got to wonder what is happening there, because there's way more selling of SPS than there is buying of DEC. And we know that there's going to be some selling, just because we have this year-end sale going on that's priced in DEC, so there's extra demand for that. But the liquidity pools for SPS are larger than the ones for DEC. So a given dollar amount of selling of SPS is going to impact the market price of SPS less than a given amount of dollar buying of DEC. So we could see that the people cashing out of SPS is significantly larger than the amount buying DEC. And then on the cards side of things, if we add up all the card markets, alphas through Rift Watchers, we have an overall decrease of $5.4 million, which is another chunk. And licenses were down. Licenses are a little bit finicky because there's so little trading. So like one license selling at a cheaper price, impacts the market cap quite a bit. 863,000 there. over the last week. So, that's a little bit of a of a of a rough guide, I guess, compared to the other ones. Jarvis saying, interested to know how you are now integrating non-card market stats on some of these items. Simple. I'm not. That is a thing we will do eventually. So if we go to Splinterlands, we have this whole new thing. If it'll load. Come on, Splinterlands. There we go. We go to the market. We go to other items. And then we have the NCM, the non-card market. And if it loads, come on, spinny teeth. I know I say it every week, but anytime I'm streaming or I'm on Zoom or something, my loading of other stuff is just crap. And I have really good internet, but it is what it is. So yeah, so you can buy these other things, other types of packs. Eventually, we'll be able to sell, buy and sell deeds. More on that in a second. We got the tracks, we got the plots, we got the regions, we got the totems, titles. So titles I don't have in my numbers at all. And yeah, so that's what we got so far. So at the moment, what I am assuming is that any kind of arbitrage opportunity that's available between the non-card market inside the game and the Hive Engine marketplaces will be taken, and the prices should be roughly equivalent. The supply counts will not change because of the non-card markets, but the prices might shift around. So for the moment, I'm just kind of ignoring this, to be honest. We do have $6,000 worth of 24-hour volume. Not a huge amount. I don't actually track the 24-hour volume on all the other tokens in the Hive Engine layer, but probably larger than that, if I had to guess. In fact, let's go ahead. Do I have Tribal Decks open? I don't, but I do have BSwap open. Look over there. You would need a bid system on the non-card market to really work well, right? Yes, you would, Jarvie. And I hear Peak Monsters is working on something like that. Let's see. Can we go to pools? Let's say, does this show volume? I don't know if it does. I guess it doesn't. Everybody coming into chat. Yes, Birds and Bees, Crypto Ace, welcome. So yeah, so I don't really track the volume on those other tokens, but I hazard to say that Hive Engine is going to be higher volume at the moment than non-card market. Jarvis saying they're not letting us do anything with non-card market, sadly, not yet. I'm sure that will change over time. So actually, I'm glad Jarvis here, because I was actually checking out his YouTube channel earlier, because I'm a subscriber, and I saw the other day some people had been kind of messaging me privately saying, hey, have you seen some of these cards that are they're not below burn value, but what they are is if you bought them today and the EC goes back to par value, then they would be below burn value in that event. And so then Jarvie comes out with this video. Can you buy Splinterlands cards at no cost? Because remember, every card has DEC locked inside of it, and now that the vast majority of DEC faucets or ways to increase the DEC supply are gone, then one of the ways to create more DEC going forward is going to be burning cards. And currently the rewards cards, historically the rewards cards have been the easiest way to do that, because they're printed so much that the demand falls and they end up being fairly cheap. The other side of things is that one of the updates that we're looking at getting at some point in the near future here, that some of the rewards cards are coming to their end of their print run, is that rewards cards are going to be soul bound or account bound, however you want to say it. And then once they reach max level, they will be burnable. So that'll be an interesting change of dynamic. That's going to hit the farmers quite a bit, because the rewards cards are a decent chunk of their revenue. So their revenue's still there, but it's going to be delayed, quite a bit. Because if you have a Silver League account, then it's going to take a long time of earning those rewards cards in order to get a card to a max level. How many chests do you need to max out 3 different common rewards cards? It's a lot. Whatever it is. Jarvis saying he's bought a lot and he has bids. Yes, bids are great for snagging those kind of deals, and Peak Monsters is one of the markets where you can do that. This video I haven't actually looked at all yet, but apparently they're updating their auto rental repricer, trying to give SPLX some more competition. And I'm all for competition in all the marketplaces. So Darrow's saying it isn't set in stone that they're going to be soulbound, right? Yeah, it's not set in stone yet. Nothing is official until you see it on a post. And whenever you hear something on a town hall, you got to remember that they're just talking, right? So but you have to figure that this is a significant possibility, or it wouldn't have been brought up at any on the air. So I think that's going to be more likely than not. That's going to be a thing. Darris, I was expecting them to realize it was a bad idea. Even posts are subject to change now. Yeah, sometimes. Definitely. Yeah, I won't get too far into that, but yeah, posts are generally reliable, generally. But all things change, right? So the ecosystem pretty weak. This week over week, pretty weak this week. Yeah, lots of weeks there. 5% down, and DEC's up nicely. So for the people who we were talking last week about front running kind of the move in DEC towards par, I think that's working out. Vouchers have not. I've been really surprised. So vouchers are down 8.5% in market cap. In actual individual price, they are down. Let's go. So many things. This is why Splinterlands is the most complicated ecosystem. So vouchers are down 13% in price week over week. Even though we do need vouchers for this end of year Chaos Legion sale. So apparently there's so many vouchers out there that even with that exogenous demand that's being created by the sale, it's not enough to cause people to buy strongly. Now, there is a possibility that most of the pools are waiting till the last minute to buy additional vouchers, but we'll see how that works out. I really thought those would be stronger than they have been. Hagrid saying, "Is this a good time to take vouchers and put them in liquidity pools?" I don't know, Aggro. That's a good question. Let's look at the pool returns. So Daryl saying they said Town Hall Rift Watchers would never be sold for DEC, and then we saw a silly proposal showing up. So when it comes to the DAO can do anything, and it's important to remember that. If the DAO wants to change its mind, it can. And currently, only the Slytherin's team is able to put forth proposals. So there's a little bit of gatekeeping there, and eventually, I'm optimistic that the promise of community created proposals will be realized, and then we'll be able to have a lot more flexibility with what the DAO does. And Rift Watchers are a DAO product. So the vouchers are paying 48% in voucher-swap.hive, so that's not bad. That's it does mitigate. So if you're holding vouchers and you're expecting vouchers to go down in price, then it is worth putting them into the LP, because the balancing out with swap.hive, the way Liquidity Pool works is that if one side stays the same and the other side changes, the net position value that you have changes by the square root of the side that's changing. So if one side stays constant, the other side goes down 50%, your position's not going to go down 50%. It's going to go down square root of 50%, which is going to be... I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. Sorry. Kids just came home from ballet. But, yeah, so if you're expecting vouchers to continue to drop, then it's probably a good place to be in the liquidity pool. And if you're expecting the vouchers to go up in price, then you don't want to put them in the liquidity pool because you'll end up with fewer of them, right? So that's what's called impermanent loss, which is a strange term, but basically, as something drops, you're buying more of it with the other side. As something rises, you're selling it into the other side. So if you want to hold more vouchers and you think vouchers are going to go up in price, don't put them in the liquidity pool. If you think they're going to go down in price, then do. If that makes sense. So I do want to talk about the promo sale and the pool that we created, because last week I said I'd have something for you, and I do. But before we get there, let's talk about a couple updates that we have. So we got some eye candy on land, which is phenomenal. You do earn SPS, which can offset that, yeah. But is it going to be enough? That's the question. So we are expecting version 0.5 here in the next week or two, maybe next week. And that's going to be redeeming our tokens for actual deeds, where we have a position on a map. We won't know anything about the actual plot, aside from its position. We won't know what type of plot it is. We won't know its rarity, but we'll have like a continent, everybody's going to be in Pretoria, a continent, a region, a tract, and a plot. So you'll have like your address, in the deed identification, which is going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's a small step, but it's like it's like so much more, infinitely more than we've had for the last 2 years. So that's fantastic. And and so I'm very happy to see that. We also got a little eye candy for Possibilis, I don't know. The water summoner for Team Possibles from the launch of okay. Go upstairs, both of you. So we have that summoner that's coming as the next airdrop. It's probably gonna be sooner rather than later, as far as the cutoff. Show the art. This is just a cover of a sketchbook. So the was expecting the stats there. Seems so near. Yes, we do want some stats, and there's lots of speculation. It's a dragon. It's water. What are we gonna get? I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna get, but there have been lots of ideas floating around in the Discord. Mini Mavs, yeah. That's right. And then we have Archibus, the bear, obviously, taking inspiration from Arcturus, which is Greek or Latin? I think it's Greek. Water's my guess, yeah, I heard it's water. So this is going to be the promo card, and there's been some great community art on the salty bear that we've gotten already. We don't know much about the promo, common, probably, and I think bear, and I think claws. In the stock market, we have bullish and bearish, right? So those animals were picked because the bull has its horns and he sweeps upward with his horns to attack. So it was taken for an upward movement in stocks, and bears swipe their paws downward when they attack. So that was the idea back then. But obviously we're in a bear market. Having a bear promo is like, it's so meta. I think we might be like bottom ticking the crypto market here. Also, Jim Cramer was out the other day saying, hey, it's never too late to sell your crypto. and everybody's like, oh, thank God, because if Jim Cramer is bearish, that means we're almost done, right? And it's time to start going back up. And maybe that's true or not. Hopefully so. The promo is that any packs bought between now and December 21st, I think, each pack gets one promo card. So there's gonna be a lot of promo cards out there. They're probably gonna be fairly high supply, so fairly low individual value. We'll see what kind of abilities it ends up with. Again, with the clawing, I think it's going to be, melee something. maybe a cripple, maybe a piercing, something like that. Uh, yeah, Blue and Kevin, all the inverse Kramer. Yeah, so hopefully that indicator remains solid. Um, but yeah, no. So Jarvis trying to decide what to do for end of year promo. Spend the 25 million DEC and do it myself. Join a group buy that offers better work and get with silver. Keep or sell DEC instead. So salt throw blind. Yeah, throwing salt might blind somebody. Maybe it just stings a lot. Like if you already have a wound and you get salt in the wound, then that adds like poison damage or something. I don't know. But it almost looks like he's throwing like a ball of salt right here. I don't know. Uh, so when it comes to promo sales, so I have the post open somewhere here. We also got the second airdrop on Rift Watchers, the Ancient Redwood. I did want to hit on this for just a second, where it's a massive 11 mana, 6 ranged attack at max level. I mean, it starts at 5 even at level 1. It's got True Strike, it's got Reflection Shield, it's got not Taunt, it's got Fury, and at final level he gains Piercing. So, sticking with the Rift Watcher's theme of being very, very high level or very, mana voluminous kind of monsters, it's a big one. He's an Ancient Redwood. And I think the stats reflect the name there quite well. So, if you're in the Rift Watchers, then, definitely be on the lookout for that. It should be coming here shortly. And then, that's Town Hall Summary. The holiday deals. So, let's go to the list here. So, this was updated a little bit. So, we added a champion tier after Diamond, which is, slightly better than the Diamond level. You get a couple thousand extra packs, per for the same rate of DEC spent. And the question that Jarvie was asking is like, do I do it on my own or do I get in with a pool? So there are several pools out there. I know YGG has one. They're looking to close theirs fairly soon. But I was back to what I was saying earlier about the being doing stuff for the minnows or for the noobs. The one of the things that Gerber and I did way back when for Chaos Legion when it originally launched was we did the X Chaos pool where people would buy an X Chaos token, and then anybody who was holding X Chaos on launch day, they got a pack, and then all the airdrops that we've received since then we've sold into the market and then distributed that DEC. I'm still getting DEC every day from X Chaos, and when we get the water summoner, we'll sell that, and that'll add more DEC to the wallet, and then that'll get distributed to all X Chaos holders. We're doing a similar kind of thing for this end of year promo, or this end of year sale. And we're calling it CLP. So here is the post that I made the other day. Let's see if it actually loads. Well, there we go. All right. So we made this pool CLP, which is Chaos Legion promo token, and it works very, very simply. So the step one is have DEC in your Hive Engine wallet, not your in-game wallet. And then you click the link, you go to splinter.fi/CLP, which looks like this. And that'll take you to the page where you can buy CLP. When we did X Chaos, we had a listing bot that would adjust the price every like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to make sure that you were buying whatever it was, like $1 or $2 worth of swap.hive, and it was adjusting as the price of swap.hive adjusted, which was annoying, and because then we had to convert it over to like a stable coin, and then we saved that up, and then we ended up sending it to Splinterlands for the actual purchase. Thankfully, we don't have to do that now because this end of year sale is all in DEC. So we're just selling the CLP tokens directly for DEC. So you go to You go to the website, you log in with Keychain, you click buy CLP, and let's see, we go back there. So this button right here. Oh, why is my phone ringing? So you click buy CLP, and then it'll pop up a little window, and you say how many do you want to buy. Each one is 2,700 DEC, and so I just hit max. I do this every day, and then I click buy, and I get a little. I've already authorized it, but you could get a keychain confirmation, and then it sends the transaction, waiting for Hive Engine. Takes 7-8 seconds, something like that, and then you have more in your wallet. And if you buy a bunch, you'll be on the leaderboard. So what happens is that when when the packs get distributed, they'll come to the central account. Then they'll be distributed to everybody who's holding a CLP. So if you hold one CLP in your Hive Engine wallet, you will receive one Chaos Legion pack and you'll receive one promo. If you hold 100, you'll have 100 Chaos Legion packs and 100 promos, and scale on up from there. Now the question becomes what to do with the rest of it, right? Because there's other things going on in the sale. So we have these other things. We get potions. We have level 10 Guild Hall if we get silver or higher, and then there's these other stuff. Now, so there's a couple possibilities of what happens here. So possibility one is we do not hit diamond, and in which case we will get the potions, sent to a specific account, and if you want to use the potions to open your packs, we'll set up some kind of system where you can automatically do that. It'll send to an account, it'll open them, and then it'll send the cards back, so that you'll be able to get the use of those potions. The Guild Hall, we do have an offer already from one of our members, Eco Instant. He says his guild wants the Guild Hall and he's willing to pay a certain amount of DEC for it. In that case, if we go with that, then that DEC will be added to the pot, and that'll get distributed to all CLP owners. For the airdrops that we get, after the fact, because there's still a couple more summoner airdrops. Same thing like X Chaos. We'll sell those into the market, gain the DEC, and then start distributing that to everybody who holds CLP in their wallets. And that's possibility number one. Possibility number two is that we get into one of these larger tiers, and we'll actually be able to convert some of these potions and guild halls and things into additional packs. So that is, I don't know how likely that is that we get there, but if we do end up getting there, probably what we'll do is we'll just put it to a vote in the Discord for anybody who wants to put in their input as far as what we do with all that. In fact, here is the Discord link so everybody can join in there. And yeah, we'll probably do like a stake weighted kind of thing. Dara's saying level 10 guild halls are not just one. At least it was my understanding there. I think it's just one, but I mean, it probably depends on how how much what tier you end up in. If you're in silver, maybe it's one, in gold. I don't know. We'll figure out all those details going forward. But for now, the options are selling it or converting it to packs if we get to a large enough amount. Like I know YGG is doing that, but the problem with YGG is they're great guys. Oh, we also have the Rooney, same thing. Are we going to sell them? Are we going to hold them for speculation? Are we going to rent them out if and when that becomes available? So that's all TBD by the community. So it'll be kind of like a mini DAO within Splinterlands of what we want to decide within those options. So yeah, one CLP is 2,700 DEC. That is correct. They'll get one pack, one promo, and then your proportional share of all this other stuff, whatever we end up deciding to do. So, like I said, YGG has their pool. I know there's been a couple others. I know one pool was the guy was charging 2,000 DEC, but you would only get the packs and the promos. Everything else went to him, which is an approach. Personally, it kind of why not just buy a pack on the secondary market at that point? But different strokes for different folks, right? The great thing about CLP is that there's no minimum because we have created this automated system built on technology that we already had. So it was fairly easy for us to do. You could buy one, right? And then you get your pack, you get your promo, and you get your one whatever share of the rest of the assets. And I think that's the largest differentiator between us and all the other pools. So that level of automation enables us to offer that to minnows who don't have 10 million DEC, in order to get the bronze tier all by themselves. So for me, I was when this post dropped, I was like, shaking my fist in my mind at aggro. It's like, why are you tempting me with all this? I could spend 50 million DEC on this, and I still might. I don't know. Dara was saying, I think we're still not sure the promo is coming. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that, but just based on the supply numbers, I think it probably has to be. Small chance it's a rare. Packs cost 1982 DEC on the non-card market right now, maybe even cheaper on Hive Engine. Right, so the difference there is the promo and the proportional share of everything else. So when all is said and done, you're not going to be spending 2,700 DEC because you're going to get a chunk of that back from the airdrops, from the whatever we sell as far as guild halls and things like that, from the Rooney value. What is the net cost going to be after you get all that back? No idea. But it's going to be way less than 2,700. But 2,700 is just the front-ended cost for all that stuff. So yeah, I know that there's probably going to be lots of questions on CLP. Anytime we're doing something that's different, there always are. What I would encourage you to do is, especially if you're not listening to this live, go to the Discord. Which the link I dropped here in chat, I'll put it in the post. When I upload this, and then ask there, and we'll be able to answer all your questions there. Birds, Bees, and Trees says possibilities are endless. The Redwoods throwing trees, high aggro. What's town hall level, Neil, in reference to your first comment in this post? I'm not sure what that means. Are you planning these prices based on diamond, package, or champion? We plan them based on gold, actually. That's what we think is pretty achievable. And yeah, I think that'll work. Chances are, even if we don't get there, I'll probably just kick in enough to get us there. And Fat Jimmy says Discord link is invalid. Go to my Discord, do another invite thing. Right. Betiv is there. Let's do copy, paste. Try that. Cimarron says link worked. It should be unlimited. Make sure I didn't invite link. It says no limit for max number of uses, so it should work. I don't know. But if you hit me up on the Splitterlands Discord, I'll send you the link there after the show. Says expired. I don't know. I just made the channel like right before the show, so so I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, I'll put the link in the Splitterlands Discord. Hopefully the mods won't get too mad at me. But there's so few mods left, so we can do whatever we want. I think Luthien says I think they meant the level where you get the guild hall at level 10, which is silver level. Yeah, I believe that is correct because it's checked right there under silver. And if we double up to gold, does that mean we get two level 10 town halls? I'm not sure, but we'll find out all those details as we go through the process. Now the sale does end December 21st, so all your purchases have to be in by December 20th. And yeah, so far we're doing okay. We're up to, where was it? We're up to 5,000 CLP sold roughly. And like I said, whatever we end up with, we'll hit gold either way because I'll just I'll just make sure that happens probably. When does all this happen? Like I said, you gotta buy by December 20th. It's already in play. The site is live. You can go there, and if you want to look at some special stuff, you can click this tab too. FSPS. It's interesting future development, which I'm not going to talk about yet, but I'll leave that as a little teaser. Anyway, for me, I'm buying every day. I have my rental income that I make, and then I convert that into CLP. I'll be doing that for the rest of the next 2 weeks, and then I have because of my OCD-ness. I have my one account that has my large staked SPS, that I've got my other account, which has my nodes and stuff, which is generating new SPS, and my lands that are generating new SPS every day. And so that I'm powering down in converting that into DEC, every week, and then buying more CLP with it. So, I'm definitely one of those people that's contributing to pushing down SPS and pushing up DEC. But should be equal amounts for me at least. I see one question in the Discord saying, are these transferable? I believe they are. I'll have to check with Gerber with that. I think it should be fine because it'll just check. It does like daily snapshots. So like as it does the snapshot, it'll just update the whoever owns that particular CLP token, as long as you're holding it on. So the sale ends December 21st. I don't actually know what day we're getting the packs and what day we're getting the promos, and what day we're getting all the other stuff. So whatever day that is, whoever is on the snapshot for holding the CLP on that date will get the packs and the promos and all the other stuff. So I'm the one responsible for the SPS drop, in small part. The market is made up of all things aggregated, so is what it is. Cimarron says, I need to edit it. Should say, anyone not in a guild trying to go for Town Hall, they are on Hive. Do not buy them off Hive for more than 2,700. Make sure if you buy them, the distribution are done. What happens if I challenge the streamer? Nothing, because I'm not actually playing at the moment. So on a different stream that might be worth something. But yeah, so that's CLP basically. It's a pool that works for everybody and has no minimums. Also has technically it does have a maximum of like 100,000 packs or 120,000 packs. We authorized a whole bunch. I think it was 3 times whatever the diamond level was at the time. But currently we only have listed up to a single diamond, so we'll see how it goes. If we need to issue more in order to cover more packs, then we'll do that. Not a problem. Claiborne says, I think Ron should have Neil contractually obligated to play if he gets challenged. A lot of times I don't even have cards in my account, in my main account, so that will not work. You have to face Luthien instead. Yeah, Luthien is way better. So I did want to touch on one thing that, so we had a fairly long update today, because today's Tuesday, so it's update day. And one of the things they did was to do something to the databases, which, as far as I can tell, is working. Because I go to SPLX. So what I've been doing a lot lately is I've been moving cards around, combining to higher levels, and then moving them back out. Because for a long time, level 1 Chaos Legion cards was where it was at as far as rental yields. That's still true on some cards, but on other cards, it's higher levels are actually working better. So I did want to take a second to go through how I do it in SPLX. And I know Peak Monsters is improving their tooling here, but at the moment I'm using SPLX, so use whatever you like. So your full revenue is from rentals and none from chests. Yeah, I don't have any. I'm not making any chests right now. Yeah, that's so. When I have a whole bunch of cards in my account where I migrated everything over, not everything, but I migrated a bunch of cards over, and then doing the combining. When you have like a whole bunch of cards, like here we got 20,000 cards in this account right now. It was taking a while in order to you update one of the filters, and then you have to wait several seconds, like a noticeable delay when in order for those filters to take effect. Uh, but this is just one of my accounts, Clay. It's all right. But now, I click on I don't know. Let's look at Chaos Legion rewards, and then boom, the update that it's pulling from the databases is fast, like barely even noticeable. So that seems to have had an impact. So one of the things I'm just going to show you to look for is so one of the things I don't like about SPLX is that, so like on Peak Monsters you have the grid view, so you can see like how many cards of each type. You don't really have that in SPLX, but what you can do is you can filter out duplicates. So basically this is only showing you one of each thing. So if I want to look at, I don't know, what's something that it's going to be a good combination? Maybe Inferni. Let's see there. So yeah, so at level 1, this is renting at 2%, return on assets, which is not great. At level 2, it's running at 16%, pretty decent. At level 6, which is max level, it's renting at 18%, and level 5 is 17%. So, yeah, I know you can filter on duplicates on Peak Monsters. I'm saying I like the grid view on Peak Monsters better, but this view right here I like better on SPLX. Have you leveled your cards yet? I've leveled some. I haven't leveled others. Just depends. But one of the things I like the most about this view is this little meter right here, and this is this is their confidence meter for like how much data do they have to support that this is actually 9%. So you can see this one is in red. So I'm not going to trust this number at all, and I'm just going to ignore it mentally. So really, I'm looking, do I want to do level 2? Do I want to do level 5? Do I want to do level 6? And in this case, I don't know. How many do I have? This button, combine cards. I only have 2, so I can't do it anyway. But if I had a bunch, I could bulk combine there. Jarvy's here, so I tell you, Peak Monsters also has bulk combine, but only for Chaos Legion and Rift Watchers. They do not have it for the other editions. So SPLX has an advantage there on combining the others, so you can like combine rewards cards and stuff in a bulk way. So I actually find myself going back and forth between the two, because I'll have a list of like all the different cards I want to combine. So I can bulk combine on SPLX, but only one type of card at a time. But if I'm in Chaos Legion, I can bulk combine on Peak Monsters all the different cards all at one time. So it's a little bit of juggling there, but you get the job done. So it's encouraging to see that the market is evolving. The economic changes that we've seen over the last couple months, they are starting to incentivize rentals at higher levels. So we're seeing a lot move to level 2 as being the top paying one, and we're seeing a few migrate up to either gold or diamond level combinations. Where could I combine my gladiators? You can combine your gladiators anywhere. You just can't move them. So can I check Kraken? Let's check the Kraken. Do I have any Krakens? Sure. Kraken. Nope. Let's go to the market. Take a look there. And wait for that to load. Kraken starts with a K, not an L. The Kraken. There's 45 cards on the market, apparently. Let's look at the yields. And waiting. I hate waiting. Come on. Oh, did it pop up and then I X'd out of it? Okay, there we go. So at level 1, it's paying 5%. High confidence. Level 2, 10% medium confidence. Level 3, 15% medium confidence. Level 4, let's call it 20% medium confidence. So this, if I had any, I would level up to level 4 and go for that, because a lot of these cards, it's you'll see big jumps from level 1 to level 2, and the reason for that is that even though an individual card might say at level 1 it's renting for 120%, that's because you're listing it at 0.1, like the minimum value for rentals, and there's so many other cards that are listed at that same price because it's the minimum, that the actual amount of time your card gets rented amongst that sea of competition is so low that the net effective rate is much lower than the rate it'll show you when your one card is actually rented. So it's a little bit more of a macro view that you have to take into account, so that you don't get trapped by yields that are misleading in terms of like how much will you actually get over the course of a season or a year or whatever. So that's something to keep in mind. uh, yeah, so this is just one account. Yeah, that is true. I don't know. I actually found an account that I have a bunch of Chaos Legion rewards cards in that I had just left. So management becomes an issue. Let's just say when you have enough. I spend probably like 2 hours a day every day on just doing Splinterland stuff of managing cards and moving coins around, and it's a whole thing. But it's worth it. When we get lands, I have 2 regions, a tract, and some miscellaneous plots, so that's going to be a lot of management. I'm hoping that I know Cryptomancer was saying that he's pushing for some bulk management type tools, and I'm sure Peak Monsters and SPLX, and I'm hoping I can nudge Gerber into building some tools if we need it as well. There's a chipmunk in Mavs looking for Java management. There is, but it's not so much that I want to pay somebody for it. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe someday it will be. My general plan with the lands is to. It's going to depend on the tooling. If we have pretty robust tools, then I'll just manage them myself and do whatever with the assets that seems appropriate. If it ends up being too much work, what I'll probably do is rent out the plots and let people do the work to generate a yield from it in terms of items and spells and resources and whatnot. And then my general approach is to reinvest half into upgrades. So when it comes to upgrades, we know it's going to be priced in DEC. We know there's a bunch of DEC out there. So right now there's 6.3 billion out there, which is actually up a bit, up 17 million from last week. So, how much is that going to eat into the supply and when? And hopefully the sooner the better. But, it's obviously going to depend on the speed of development. I think Farp put in a comment in the Mavs chat the other day saying that version 1 will be fairly quick after version 0.5. So I'm hoping that's true. It's holidays, nothing ever gets done, so maybe January 23, maybe February 23 we'll get some version 1.0 of lands, and then we'll be able to do some stuff. We'll have I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think version 1 of lands includes what type of resource it is, or what type of plot it is, whether it's overflowing or whatever the different names are for the different rarities, and then what resources are on it. I'm not sure if it'll actually involve buildings or not, but we'll get something additional. Rick on the mountain says, "Hey, Neil just got in, but all set up, taking over for empathy again." I don't know what that means. Taking over for empathy. Oh, for the next show. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So stay on after the top of the hour for Rick on the mountain. Clay is saying, "I'm hoping some people that have been sitting on regions and regions and tracks are going to chop them up into claims and sell some. I think most probably hold for guaranteed castles, keeps, what have you." Yeah, I mean, the idea of being so close and then selling now and then losing out on a castle, that's like terrifying. So I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, so both the value of DEC is up, that's up 20%, and the count of DEC is up a little bit. So the count is up 0.28%, so virtually nothing. You got to figure some of that's in leaderboard rewards, because we did have a season end in there, and then some might have been burned. There've been there have been some people burning SPS for DEC, even though DEC is not at par and it's a net loss to do that. I'm guessing some of the bot farms are doing that in order to simplify management, but I don't really know why people are doing that. it's a silly thing to do when DEC is lower. How is the count up? I don't know the sources. I just know that the count is up by that amount, by that 0.28%. Gipfel is afraid of the supply price of plots after everybody can claim their regions and tracks. Yeah, so right now there's an uncertainty in any given plot, right? So plots are trading at 134. I'm gonna say 132, and you never know, right? So like you buy one of those plots for $132, it could be a castle. You don't know. It could be a keep. It could be a legendary, whatever. But once the reveals are done, then you'll know what you're getting. So that uncertainty premium that you're getting will probably be eliminated. And so the difference in prices might get exaggerated. And we don't know for sure, but that seems to make sense to me. Eldon said not buying any land until reveal. I guess there's many people saying it's not selling any land until reveal. Yeah, I mean, with the reveals being so close, I think that transaction volume is probably going to decrease. Once we get 0.5 or version 0.5, and then we can see where our stuff is, then there might be an uptick in volume and say, okay, well, I have 3 plots over here, I've got one way over here, I'd rather sell that one and get one closer by. We know that in initial versions, travel is probably not going to be a thing, but Aggro has said that he wants that to be a factor in the future. So Cryptomancer said on, I don't remember if it was a town hall or if it was in the chat, that he said he's going to want his regions spaced out a little bit. So maybe he'll try to claim one like early on will be on, let's say, the left side of the map, and then one the day later try to get in the middle of the map, and then one on the right side of the map. Maybe that works. It really depends on how quickly people claim their stuff. I tend to think that people are going to be very quickly claiming their deeds. So I'm not sure it would last, several days. There might be some stragglers out there, but I expect once the deed claiming goes live for that to be hit pretty aggressively. Am I selling one of my regions? No, I'm not selling one of my regions. I mean, if you paid me $1 million, maybe. What's my position on potion on reveal? I don't know. I don't know. I kind of think that totems should be that, because they're that modifier for whatever is on the plot, and I kind of think it should stay that way. On the other hand, it would be an additional sync for DEC, which is always good. So I'm in the middle on potions. How much is a tract right now? Tract's about $8,000. Last one was 9,000. And regions. So regions haven't really sold in forever. So I've just been carrying this $215,000 number. But who knows? Basically, it's very illiquid. You'd have to find somebody who has a region, and then find somebody who has a region and wants to sell one, which is going to be, tough, I think, especially at this point in time. But you can go out and you can make offers and see what you can get. And we have 1 minute left. Fat Jimmy says, plus distribution is random too, i.e. 2 plots claimed in a row, but with different clicks, can be anywhere on the map. They don't just go in order, do they? I really don't know. I do know that if you have a single plot, it's not going to interrupt a region, and it's not going to interrupt a tract. But beyond that, I don't know. That'd be a good question for Fart, who's doing all of that coding. And yeah, I imagine that we'll get some specific details as we get closer. My guess is we get a code implementation next week, and then we'll get a countdown timer from there to see when we can actually do all the reveals, and then there'll be some delay there to get all our questions answered. So hopefully that'll work. And that brings us to the end of our show. So thanks everybody for coming out. Go buy some CLP if you want to join in. the Chaos Legion promo pool without having to be a giant whale yourself. And we'll catch you next time.